So most of the idiots out there, they look at the 1.2%. They wouldn't think it was possible for the government to lie about the figures. They're the same people who watch television every night and think that they're getting the news. But we're getting a play. The play is fearfulness. And the fearfulness is not only in the dollar, but many currencies. I wrote a piece this morning, which will be in tomorrow's issue of the International Forecaster, about real estate and its problems, but mostly, in fact, I put the article under Europe, mostly because Americans don't know that the banking bad asset problems are as bad, if not worse, in Europe than they are in the United States. And so, is it really the right place to go to protect yourself, to be in the euro or the Swedish krona or the British pound? I don't think so. I don't think the dollar is either. It's only gold and silver, only. So remember that. You get a lot of letters from people saying, gee, should I get in and go along the euro or something like this? And I say, no. Why do all those stupid things and pay all those commissions when you can just very simply get into gold? I mean, why make it complicated? You're in a 10-year bull market that's going to last another 5 or 10 years. Why would you go anyplace else? But anyway, as far as Agnico Eagle and Goldcorp are concerned, their prices are dictated by a fear factor, and that's what's going to push them.
Well, Bob, I saw an article. I can't remember which pension fund, but it was, I think the article came out on Friday, how these pension funds are beginning to increase their holdings of precious metals in gold.
Yeah.
And so, this is what you're seeing. It's a gradual change. It just doesn't happen overnight, but you're going to have more and more of these larger funds come into gold.
Well, I think they have to, and the flip side of that is I had that, I think, in Saturday's issue, but maybe it's going in tomorrow, but I had another piece, and I quote that CalPERS, which is the fourth largest pension plan, I think, in the world, and I think it's the largest one in the United States, and they're all aluminous, so you know what you can expect from them. But they're down from about 70% in equities, which are stocks, down to 49%, which is a precipitous drop. Now, pension funds, more often than not, their timing stinks. They sort of average everything. They middle everything so they can get a decent return for the people who need the pensions in the future. And so they're not in the vanguard of decision-making in shares. But it is very significant that they have, and others will follow CalPERS because they're the big leader. They are setting a trend and a tone here. And if CalPERS and others are reducing their equity positions, individuals have reduced their equity positions about 9% this year on a net basis. What's going to happen to the market next year when all these bad earnings come out from the banks and the brokerage firms because they're carrying all this garbage on their books? So it's going to go down. Now, I really don't see how it can go up. It's dreadful news. And as you say, the other side is funds of one kind or another, pensions, getting involved in gold and silver. I bet very, very few of them own the shares, and almost none of them own the bullion. I mean, buying GLD and SLV is a waste of time. They definitely do not have the positions that they're supposed to have in gold and silver. What their positions are, I don't know, because they lie about everything, just like our government and Wall Street, etc. If I had to guess, I'd say 30 to 40%, because I think they've lent gold to the government and anybody else who the government told them to lend it to. And there's going to be a major scandal on COMEX, the LMBA in London, which is the equivalent, the Street Tracks GLD, which is the gold exchange traded fund, and SLV, which is a silver exchange rated fund. And they don't have the gold and the silver that they say they have. I don't think COMEX has any. And obviously the LAM, whatever it is, in London, they don't have any either. They got caught 2 weeks ago, and they had to deliver melt against their orders. Melt. 0.888 to 0.90. I mean, that has to be re-refined, and whoever the delivery was to would have had to have another shipment of gold to make up the difference on the contract for $999. And so we're getting very, very close, maybe within 3 months or 6 months or a year. But the word is spreading that these entities don't have the gold. And it's as simple as that. And once the public becomes convinced, either no one will play their game, and that'll make them collapse, or, on the other hand, a lot of people will play their game and then take delivery, and they can't do it. So stand by. And incidentally, as these entities, how would I put it? As they lose their I can't think of the right word. As they lose the confidence of the people, money's going to come out of COMEX and in London and SLD and GLD, SLV and GLD, and that money is going to go into bullion and shares, a combination of both. The reason being is they want the real metal, but they'll also want some leverage, and they'll get that from shares. So all of you people who saw our Agnico Eagle go down today, go in and buy it tomorrow morning, or any of the other issues that have been under pressure today, because it's the government. They're shorting them. And you can see it by the way they act, and they're doing it on low volume. And, you know, I was a trader for 25 years, and I've been at this for 50 years, and I can tell when the government's in the market. And you know, it's nothing concrete. You know, it's a rhythm. And, you know, you can see what they're doing if you're a trader and you understand the game. Anyway, that was a long answer to one question.
Bob, this question's in from Ivan. Is the Rothschilds, are they powerful enough to set the price on gold? He read an article on the internet that Rothschilds daily set the gold prices.
The Rothschilds haven't set gold prices for some years now, 5, 6, 7 years. They left their position on the London Gold Exchange and gave it up to somebody else. And the Rothschilds are loaded with gold, loaded with it. And they don't set any prices anyway. If they do, it's done secretly, let's put it that way. Well, here's one that's from Bill, and he says, Bob in Mint State. You like that? It is stated that silver is currently undervalued with respect to the current gold-silver ratio. Is that correct? Yeah, it is correct, and it doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
I've been doing this 50 years. Don't waste your time. You know, it might have been true 50 or 100 years ago, but not anymore. You got a rigged market. I mean, you know, it's just like using short term. You can't do it. Why do you think 96% of the experts are wrong? Because they're doing all that stupidness, and they still don't get the game of psychopolitical warfare. They're idiots.